I'm Jason with Wagner Meters, and today I'm here to talk to you about one of the two very common acceptable methods for testing moisture in concrete. As many of you know, manufacturers specify moisture testing usually within their substrate preparation specifications in their installation guidelines. And in there, they usually will talk about two different types of tests. One of them being either referenced as calcium chloride testing or ASTM F1869. The other would be in-situ relative humidity testing or ASTM F2170. The one I'm going to talk to you about today is the calcium chloride testing and really some of the deficiencies that that type of testing has. One of the things that when you look at a calcium chloride test is that it really is only looking at the very top layer of the concrete, and it's looking at the emissions that are coming off of that top layer. And when you think about that, that's great for understanding physically what's going on right this second or over the course of the 60 to 72 hour period that it was installed or the test was installed, but it really does not help you understand long-term what the conditions of the concrete are deep down. Another deficiency that I see with the calcium chloride test is that, unfortunately, many people don't keep up on the ASTM standard, and they really don't look at it from a standpoint of how to properly do the test. Couple of the things that people have to look at that a lot of people I see out there still don't. One of them is you need to grind a 20 by 20 area. And when I say grind, you need to prepare a 20 by 20 area, and it needs to have a very specific CSP1 or CSP2 profile to that concrete. A lot of times I'll hear people just wipe it down to get it clean. They really don't do that preparation. The other thing that's different about the standard that has changed in the last few years is the fact that if you have a situation where there has been floor covering installed and you're doing the test, you need to physically grind that area and walk away for 24 hours and then come back and physically set the test and let it sit for 60 to 72 hours. What I find many times, especially on renovation work like that, is people will grind and they will set it, if they do grind, they'll prep it and set it, and that's when their 60 to 72 hour window starts. Unfortunately, in that situation, you really are shortening the overall process for that test, and the results you're getting really are not that accurate. So, when you look at that, there really are some severe downfalls to calcium chloride test, whereas done properly, the ASTM F2170 test or the in-situ relative humidity test really is a more appropriate test for helping the installer, the project owner, and whoever's going to be involved in that project to physically realize how that floor is going to perform. That being said, this is Jason Spangler, and I'll see you next time.